Good afternoon, members. Welcome to this meeting of Castlebricker's Common Good Fund Subcommittee on Wednesday, 21st May 2025. First item 1, setting apologies and Chair's approval for members' remote participation. There's no members' remote participation, but I agree to officers' remote participation. Settled, there's nothing to come forward. We're all here, and so that takes us on to item 2, declarations of interest. Is any member any declaration of interest? No, very good. Item 3, minute of previous meeting on 19th March 25. Sure.
Yes, Chair, just 4.2 there about the further agreed to bring a report back to this committee to consider whether you will open an investment portfolio based on information provided at the previous meeting. So I'll bring that to the next meeting.
Very good. And I think there was a general view that we probably would, but we'll leave that until it comes before us in report format.
Okay, Chair.
Very good. Item 4, Castlebricker's Common Good Property update report by Interim Assistant Director and Transport Infrastructure. Colin, do you want to take us through this, please?
Thank you, Chair. If I may, as set out in the report, we've listed the common good properties that form the common good portfolio. We've also detailed any rents that are due, and we've also highlighted the capital works at the Clock Tower and Clock Tower Flat. And also, if I may, Chair, can I provide a verbal update on 2 points?
Yes, Colin, go ahead.
I notice in the recommendations members are not actually being asked to note anything. There's an omission of the word note in front of the 4 recommendations. And at paragraph 4.3, we had hoped to have the 32 St Andrew Street let out at this point, hence the full figure of 12,100. That property is not currently let out. However, we are taking viewings on that, so hopefully we'll get that rented as soon as possible. Thank you, Chair.
Very good. So that would bring the projected income up to that figure. Yeah. If it's let out, that would bring the. We would hope to realise that figure.
The figure for 2025-26 will be less because we've not got full occupation. But what I can do is I can get an anticipated timeline from Nick and update Sean on what that figure might look like.
Very good. Thank you for that. Members, any questions for Colin? Yes, George.
Just a very quick one. Good afternoon, Colin. Thank you for coming to a humble, good meeting. The Bowling Green and Queen Street, we don't receive any rental income, not even a nominal income for that.
No.
I can double check that for you, Councillor Young, and come back and provide further clarity on what that position is.
That's fine. I'm quite happy with the present situation if we don't receive any rental income.
I'm fairly sure we don't. I've had that discussion in the past. Yeah. Very good. Pauline?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Colin, for the report and all the hard work that was undertaken on the clock tower. Because I know once it started progressing, you ensured that it went through as quickly as possible. Can I just ask about that? So it's in 4.1, the clock tower, and then later in the report we see the costs listed. It was just to see, did we get anything on insurance? Did the council, were they able to claim anything on insurance for that? That's my first question. And my second question is just with regards to item number 4. If we page down to the last point on 4.1, it's the second last point, sorry, Colin. It says the offices at 5 St Andrew Street are currently progressing through the process of being declared surplus with a view to being disposed of by a negotiated off-market sale. It's anticipated that a future report be brought back to this subcommittee dealing any offer received and to be considered. As we're aware, there was no interest when it was put up for rent, but then there subsequently became interest or interest. Obviously, I don't have the facts with regards to that property, and I'm just wondering if we as a committee would have a wee bit more detail on that, or in fact, could we just go straight to changing the wording on that to read, it is anticipated that a future report be brought back to this subcommittee, dealing any offers received and to be considered by this committee, which would be for sale and all the details with regards to that, or for rent with a number of details that we would really need to have in front of us, i.e. a business plan, and other such items that must always be considered. So it was just to ask if we could expand it to that, Colin, and what the legal position was. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Drysdale. In regards to your first point about the insurance, my understanding is that the costs associated were met through a capital budget, but I'll double check that, and if the positions change, I'll let you know. In terms of the sale of 5 St Andrew Street, we were approached by a local business who wanted to buy it from us and from the common good. We can only sell what is to be declared surplus, so we're in that process at the moment, and that's going through subcommittees, approval by the sheriff, etc., because it's inalienable property. And once we've got all the details sorted, we'll bring a report back that details what that offer is, what the current value of the property is, and a recommendation for members. If we were to change the position at the moment and move to advertise for rent, it would actually derail that process of negotiated off-market sale. So with the blessing of members, we'll carry on with the negotiated off-market sale. Should the position change, then we'll come back to members and say, members, do you consider or would you consider renting the property out?
Can I come back in, Chair?
Yes.
And you're happy with that, Colin? As far as we're concerned, the legal teams at the council would be happy with that position as it stands.
Through you, Chair, absolutely, Councillor Drysdale. We're following the disposal and acquisition policy to the letter, and we'll conclude the negotiations around the off-market sale. Hopefully, we'll generate a significant capital receipt for the common good. If not, we'll reconsider the position and then come back to members with what the officer recommendations are.
Okay. And would that be coming forward to the next meeting, Colin?
Hopefully, very much dependent on how quickly we can get through the declaring surplus process, which requires a bit of a consultation and then approval by the sheriff. But we can kind of run both administrative processes concurrently, and that would hopefully speed up the process.
Okay. Any other questions for Colin on his report?
No.
No, Colin, thank you for your time, and we'll probably catch up post-meeting and hear some thoughts of where we can go. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Okay. Right, so we were asked to note portfolio as detailed, note the properties that are currently leased to tenants as detailed in 4.2, and note the rental forecast for the financial year 25-26 as detailed in 4.3, and 2.4, the position regarding the ongoing capital works, the Castle Douglas Town Clock Tower, and the associated impact on neighbour property as detailed at 4.4. Are we happy to note?
Happy to note.
Yeah.
Very good. Takes us on to item 5, application for financial assistance from Three Rovers Football Club. Report from Head of Thriving Communities. Sean, do you want to take us through this, please?
Certainly, Chair. Nothing really to add to the report. You have your business plan in the appendix there. Maybe just draw your attention to page 16, where I've drawn out some of the kind of highlights, if you like, from the business plan. So a quick project overview. It is for the development of a 3G pitch and floodlighting. Some of the community benefits there. You know, it's going to cut down a lot of travel for a lot of young people and the cost there. And I think they're quite astronomical figures that are being estimated that they incur. So a good benefit there. And I think one of the other big community benefits there is, you know, a provision of a variety of sports. We're not just talking about a football pitch here, we're talking about a 3G pitch. So it can be for social community events beyond football to maximise the community use of it. There's good strength of partnership working there. The rugby club have indicated their support to use the facility, so that's good that they've got that kind of local interest for use. They've looked into their sustainability there, they've got that listed, and they've given quite a kind of a good breakdown on their business plan of income, expenditure, and you know what they're kind of aiming to. So the ask today of the Common Goods Fund would be a contribution to those capital costs for the 3G pitch and the lighting.
Very good. Yeah, I appreciate 10,000 is a considerable sum. I think it matches the maximum that were previously given. But as I say, that amounts to approximately 1.3% of a 750,000 development in the town, which is to be more than welcome. So appreciating the 10,000 lot, and it will require us to go in to reserves as such to make that. But personally, I think it will bring a lot of benefit to the town. But members, any question for Sean?
The only thing is what I said very briefly at the beginning, Sean, I would like security cameras being mounted. Security. Well, is floodlighting, perhaps the floodlighting linked to security. But I also remember when we had the chief executive visit, I mean, a very interesting talk, and how the onset of COVID brought about a rates demand from the council that they didn't have previously. And I wonder if Threave Rovers have received any legal advice on the base status financially for the club. You know, should it be set up as a charity, etc.? I don't have the knowledge, but I just wonder if they have sought legal advice on the base status in terms of their financial well-being.
Pauline?
No, I would just like to endorse. Obviously, we'll need to make a decision as to whether or not we go ahead on this in the next few minutes. But I think for the town, it's very positive to reduce the amount of travel, especially for young people. We're finding it really difficult to get transport for sports. And I also applaud the fact that these 3G pitches can be used for everybody. And I've noticed recently there's been a walking football been introduced into the area, and a friend of mine who's got a disability is able to join that as well. So I think it's really all encompassing. So I'm very supportive of it. Thank you, Chair.
Martin?
Yes, I think the Community Council would support it wholeheartedly, because it, as you say, can be used for so many different things, and I think it's a very good project for the town.
Very good. So we were asked to look at that kind of, I can't even speak, grant criteria for funding as detailed in Appendix 1, note the sum of the business plan Appendix 2, and consider to agree whether to make the award. And it's been a unanimous decision to agree to make the reward. Sean.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I can take those points raised by Councillor Young and speak to the club around the security cameras. They may have that in train. I don't know. I can check that out with them. And also about the legal position on those that financial ask of the council. So I can check that out with the club lead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have no other business, so that concludes today's meeting. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Chair.